Hey guys, Coach Danny here with North Star Sports. We're looking at basic defending. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the approach when it comes to pressing an opponent. Now, we are taking out a very small part of the game, and we're just trying to recreate that in this space. All right. So we have a situation where you have a defender, or you have an attacker on the ball. You are looking to make a curved run in order to press that opponent, to show them away from danger, and to try to win the ball. Now, we have 4 main points or 4 tenets that we really want to focus on when it comes to one-on-one defending. All right, I call them the 4 S's. You may know them as something else. So let's jump right into it. Our first S is going to be speed. All right, now we need to approach the ball quickly. Our first few steps, bum, 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 need to be really, really fast, okay? Because if we take too long to get there, we will just arrive there in time to watch our opponent play the ball, whether it's a pass, a shot, whatever. All right, so our first few steps, we need to identify really, really quickly where the press needs to go, how it needs to be angled, and we need to approach the ball really, really, really quickly. So we start with a quick 3 steps or 4 steps, bum, bum, bum. That's our speed. Our second S now is to slow down. Second and third S's go together. We have slow down and we have shut down. So as you slow down, what you want to do is shut down one of your opponent's options. Now, if our opponent has the ball at his feet, he has the option to carry the ball to his left, carry the ball to his right, or carry the ball straight ahead. My aim as a defender is to reduce his options and only give him the ones that I want him to have. Okay, so if I know he's really dangerous on his right foot, if I know that the pass to the right is a really dangerous pass, I need to take away those options from him as quickly and as efficiently as possible. So once I have my speed to the ball, now I slow down so I don't run through like a bull in a china shop and get beaten with one touch. And I have to shut down the options that I do not want him to have. So I do that by slowing down and curving my run so that he no longer has the option to carry the ball in this direction, and he no longer has the option to carry the ball straight past me, because my body is in a position that I can tackle him here, or if he tries to push it, I can get my body in front of his and between the ball so I can win it. So once I have my speed to the ball, my slow down and my shut down come with my curved run. My final S is the showdown. The showdown is where we step in and win the ball in the tackle. Now, when you step in on the field, if your opponent pushes it or holds on to the ball, you need to step through and win that ball confidently. You need to lock your ankle, make contact with your hand, and step through and win that ball. Now, here's why I say you make contact. Most players, especially the ones who are very good at ball mastery, can dribble and can move the ball much faster than you can react. Now, if I can make contact with my hand early, I can off-balance them, and it becomes much harder to do any ball mastery tricks, to flick, to adjust, to fake, once you are off balance. So my aim with my hand is to off balance, but also my aim is to protect myself and my opponent. If I go through without my hands, again, like a bull in a china shop, we can clash heads, I can give away a foul, I can trip the opponent. I need to make contact in order to protect myself from hitting into the opponent. All right? Now, my next thing is we need to step in and we need to win the ball confidently. Lock your ankle, step through, win the ball in a very firm tackle. Okay, now it is very important that we make contact when we go in for the tackle. We make contact in order to protect ourselves primarily. So if I go in and my hands are at my sides, and I go in again like a bull in a china shop, and we collide, that can very easily lead to an injury for myself. It can lead to me injuring the opponent, giving away clumsy fouls. But our aim is to make contact so that we can protect ourselves. And then secondarily, it is very easy for Bobby to feint, for Bobby to move the ball faster than I can react. We make contact because it is much harder to perform any ball mastery skills if you are off balance. Okay? So we also make contact in order to off balance our opponent. So when we come in, we lead with our arm to make contact to off balance our opponent, protect ourselves, and allow us to set up a tackle. Now, it is very important that we lock our ankle and we go through the challenge firmly. If I don't lock my ankle and Bobby or my opponent steps in, I can very easily hurt my ankle. Whether it's a twist, a break, these things can happen. So my aim is to step in, make contact, step in and win the ball firmly. All right? Now, once we go in, we don't want to stop, because if you kill your own momentum, you cannot re-accelerate if the ball is moved. Okay? So we follow through and we make contact one time in the tackle. That is the showdown. That is the fourth S. Okay? So once we've come in with speed, we've slowed down, we have shut down the opposition, then we step in, make contact for the showdown portion. All right, so once we put it all together, we have the speed portion, the slowdown and the shutdown portion, and then the showdown portion. I'm going to run through a quick example here with Coach Bobby, where I start here, 3 quick steps, slow down, curve my run, step in and win the ball. Should look a little something like this. Three quick steps, we slow down, we take away the option, we make contact with the attacker, and we step in and win the ball with a firm ankle. So now we have just covered one-on-one defending. Now we're going to take a look at covering. Okay, so with covering, there are 2 very important things that we have to look at. One is the distance of your cover, and second is going to be the angle of your cover. Now, ideally, your cover is covering your weak side. So you are already showing them into a position of strength, but you have cover that is then protecting your back or your weak side. Okay, so for example, a drill like this, Coach Bobby and I will start from this cone, and my aim is to apply pressure onto that ball, and Coach Bobby is going to be providing cover with the correct distance and the correct angle from me. Okay, so he should be somewhere around here. If the ball beats me this way, he can get across to it. If the ball beats me this way, he can get up to it. And then I would shift from being the pressuring defender to being the covering defender. Now, this has to be done quickly in a match. Okay, so it should look a little something like this. I go and I apply pressure on the ball. Bobby is in a position where he is covering my weak side, and at the same time, if the ball gets pushed long past me, he can get around before the attacker can get there. Now, it is important that you practice this with your teammates. Again, this is just a snippet of an actual match scenario, but if we can practice this and get this right, it makes pressuring opponents who try to play out from the back a lot easier. All right, so now we're going to go through a quick demonstration of teaching a 3-man beginner press. Now, the aim with this is to get your players confident at identifying the scenario. Now, as someone who's coached youth soccer for a while, I know that you do end up saying the same thing over and over, and that is completely normal. But if you can get the players to identify the scenarios, it will go a long way in making their behaviors good habits. All right? So what we have here, we have 3 tall cones that simulate defenders. Now, you notice that the defender is on the inside of the player with the ball. The reason for that is to allow for the same curved run that you would have seen in the press, where he's using the end line as another defender. All right? Now, we want to protect the middle of the field. The middle of the field is most important, okay? So we're looking to keep the ball away from the middle of the field and force our opponents to go down the sides where there is less space and it is easier for us to defend, all right? So if the ball starts in the middle, we have the middle defender who initiates the press. He will step up to the ball and he shows them to whichever side is weakest. So if you identify there's a right back or a left back who has a weakness, you show the ball to that side. In the same way, if you know you have one of your wingers who is much more competent or a much stronger defender, you can show them to that side. If the weaker midfielder is on that side, you can show them to that side. But that comes from the middleman, okay? It also depends on whether the opponents start the ball to the left or to the right. There are lots of different factors that can identify that. But you start with that middleman being able to identify what direction he wants to send it and being able to curve his run to show the opponents to that side, okay? So if we start showing the ball to this side, then we have our right side defender who will come in and cover the weak side, and we have our left side attacker who will come in to shut the pass to the middle and put himself in a position to press the ball wide. Now, once the ball is played wide, this attacker needs to get back into a covering position as quickly as possible while this attacker is making his curved run to press the ball here. Again, he's using the line as a defender and he is ensuring that there is no pass that is allowed through the middle, especially not that one-time pass. It is important that he moves while the ball is moving and he doesn't wait for the person to receive the ball before he initiates his press. Now, once that is done, the defender is either going to try to travel wide or he's going to pass the ball back into the middle where our striker has just backed off into a covering position. Now, once that ball goes back there, this attacker then retreats to his covering position while this attacker steps forward into a press again. Now we're assuming the ball goes to the other side, then it is up to my other attacker to make his curved run to show the player on the ball out to the side. All right, then again, my central attacker drops into a covering position, and now my player here, his job is to shut the pass to the middle. Just like when the ball is on this side, I expect my far attacker to shut the pass to the middle, because at all costs, we must protect from that pass through the middle of the field. All right, guys, here is a quick game that we can play just to get your defenders accustomed to the idea of moving as the ball moves, pressing high, and protecting from the pass through the middle. Now, we have... This works especially well in limited space like we have today. So we have two green boxes here. Now the attackers, you're going to have one in each green box. They cannot leave their green boxes and the defenders cannot enter those green boxes. This is so that we can really isolate the movement of the defenders without turning it into a scrimmage just yet. All right. So what's going to happen is the two attackers are going to pass the ball back and forth. And as the ball moves back and forth, your defenders are going to have to rotate between pressing and covering. Now, the attacker's job is to catch the defense in motion, sleeping or out of position, and score through the gates. Okay? If they can do that, they score a point. Now, if you realize that your defenders are defending the space very, very well, or you catch one, for example, goalkeeping, which could be an issue where one does all the pressing and the other decides they're just going to stand up in front of the goal, what you would do is you'd create two goals. So you'd have one here, still in a central location, but you will put the other one in a position where the defender cannot block both at the same time. So it forces him now, instead of trying to goalkeep past one, he has to try to shut the pass higher up the field. Okay? So then it makes the pressing and covering movement that much more urgent. All right, and your attackers are going to be moving the ball back and forth while the defenders move while the ball is moving. All right, and once the opportunity arises, if they don't move fast enough, the opponents the attackers, sorry, get that opportunity to score. So here we have just a scenario where the attacker is on the ball, and I'm going to show my pressing movement where I show him away from the goal and off towards the end line. And as I make that movement, I have my defensive cover where I am shutting out the passes here, the passes towards the goal, and I have my covering defender who is shutting the other side. Now, as the ball moves, so just move the ball over here, come over here. As the ball moves, I have to get back here while my my other defender makes his pressing run. Okay, so we then learn to move in tandem as the ball is moving. The whole aim of this is just getting your players accustomed to identifying the situation on their own and being able to move while the ball is in motion using the same pressing cues that we would have talked about earlier. Thank you.